Amazing. Those last two gentlemen who came up, answered so many of my questions.
That's why we call it co-creating at its best. Yes.
Yes. I'm gonna try and say this the right way so I don't get razzed too much by Abraham.
Good luck with that. We're gonna razz you in a way we've never razzed before.
Easy on me. Okay. A couple weeks ago, my little brother transitioned into non-physical.
Yes.
It has been, maybe I shouldn't talk about it. Well, I will. It'll be easier to understand. So like my body has been like, whenever I eat, it's like, joke's on you. Like, this isn't good. My stomach's been in knots. I've been a little really gutted about it. But as I've been listening to these last two.
If there's anything in your physical experience that causes a greater reaction than that, we don't know what it is, because you've developed as a society, as societies, you have these ways that you look at things like that. And so it is perfectly normal, isn't it, to have a great big reaction to something like that. So this conversation about not doing so much reacting and doing more segment intending.
Yeah.
In other words, your little brother is doing something different than he ever did before. He's no longer reacting, he's out ahead of it for the first time in a while, yodeling down the canyon, yahooing all the way. Whole different perspective and wanting to let you in on it. But you've got this little phase that you're going to go through that is going to be as long as you decide to allow it to be, where you continue to react and react and react and react and react, or you could segment intend and reach for something different.
Yes, and I'm so excited to do that. For the sake of my stomach and my 5 kids, I'm like, I think I want to look at this different. And so as
we said to Esther, when Jerry made his transition, she was gutted too. You're reacting. But this was the conversation that helped her the most. If you will stop looking for him where he was and look for him where he is. Now, isn't that the best description of segment intending that you've ever heard? Because as wonderful as all of that was, the absence of the wonderment of what was is no longer wonderful and wonderment. It's lack and absence. As long as she was mostly contemplating what had been or what was and looking for him where he had been and then not finding him because your inner being never looks back, that gutted feeling is not because he was missing. It was because Esther was using her flawed perspective of where he wasn't instead of looking for him where he was. Where segment intending causes you to look somewhere else. Segment intending is looking forward, not back. Segment intending is combining yourself with the whole of who you are and looking at where you're going. All satisfaction is about that.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so as you were speaking with the gentleman right before me, I came up with some new affirmations, or just a new way of thinking of it. This came to me. My little brother's name is Mikey. Mikey chose to take the fast pass to a really cool ride. I'm choosing to stay on this really cool ride, and I love and appreciate and create and love and create and appreciate in this physical body.
Those are really good. Now let us give you some other words that are picking up from where you are, but telling it even more like it is. Mikey has figured out how to look forward in a more dramatic way than I want to do right now. Because all of us, when we croak, we try to be as disrespectful about death as we can because there isn't any. These words are coming out of your mouth. So all of us, when we croak, are going to talk about segment intending, talk about getting out ahead of it, talk about leaving all resistance behind. But we're speaking from your perspective in the attitude of your affirmations. I don't have to croak for that fast pass. I just have to segment intend. So when we were asking you the other day to get out ahead of it, you know what the ultimate getting out ahead of it would be? That'd be getting out ahead of it, way out ahead of it. A little drastic. Or you can just segment intend, just get out ahead of it. Because satisfaction, connection, joy, it all comes from one place and one place only. Having an intention and moving in the direction of it. You don't have to get all the way there. And anyway, if you could croak, you still wouldn't be all the way there. Nobody's going to ever get all the way there. So my little brother Mikey just took a bigger step right now into a blissful experience, but I can take small steps into a blissful experience. I don't have to croak for that fast pass. I just have to look forward instead of behind. I just have to get out ahead of it and act rather than react. Yes?
Yes. Okay. And so yeah, I've been missing him a lot, but as with this conversation and the ones prior, I'm thinking, I'm really looking forward to rendezvousing with him in different ways, in new ways.
But can you feel how that's kind of a big jump?
Yeah.
That's kind of a big jump. It's easier, the specifics of missing him, there's so much momentum in that. So when you try to find something that is on the other side of that feels better, you can't find those specifics because you can't get your thoughts around it. You don't know in what way it's going to happen. And so rather than trying to segment intend specifically on that subject, segment intend on any other subject. On any subject. You don't have to find the other end of that subject to feel good. You just have to let go of that subject that doesn't feel good.
Okay. Yes, I've thought of that a lot. I'm like, so I just Pinterest then and not think that he's not gone.
Here's what happens as you settle into this will help you. So here's what happens. You have a relationship with someone, and maybe it's someone you see a lot and think about a lot and spend a lot of time with a lot, and maybe it isn't, but let's just say you have a physical relationship with someone. And for the sake of our analogy, play along with this just a little bit. Let's say it isn't somebody that you necessarily have spent a lot of time with. You love them, they've been somewhere else, you care about them, they've been doing their thing, you've been doing your thing. So you don't really have this really up close, do something every day kind of experience with them. And then, oh, this is so interesting. We're wanting to tell you why you're thinking so much about what's going on. Then they croak. And they leave all of their resistance behind. And they have full view of everything they care about. And you're one of those things that they care about. So they think about you. They think about you because they're ready to play with you. And when they think about you, they activate them in you. But you don't know how to think about them because you're not accustomed to thinking about them where they now are. You're thinking about them where they were, or even worse, where they were and now aren't. And so they're calling you and you're answering the phone from where you are, and it feels awful. The good news is they're reaching you. So let's just say when you feel grief, somebody who's having a really good time is focused on you. And the more your grief is, the better time they're having. Now, don't misunderstand that. They're not happy you're grieving. You just feel grief because they're happy, because they're on that end of the stick. So here's the deal. They are free of all resistance and focused on you and thrilled, and they have so much they want you to know, like, everything that Abraham says is true. And it's all really, really good here. And there's nothing serious going on. And life is supposed to be fun. And they're just all full of themselves and focused on you. And you're hearing the calling, but you're hearing it from a different place. And so the more they call you, the worse you feel, the more you miss them. And so if you could just say to yourself, my missing you is about your loving me. Because if they weren't thinking about you, you would not be feeling your opposing vibration. Can you hear that? If they were not thinking about you, it would not activate within you where you are on the subject. There were times Esther said to Jerry, go play with someone else. Do not think about me, because I can't find you where you are, and the more you think about me, you're just antagonizing me where I am. But he never went anywhere else, and after a while, she just had to line up with where he was. Then the real party begins. Then the real fun happens, you see, which is what you're talking about. But it's too big of a thought for you to get out there ahead of. In other words, you can't quite get there.